Gentlemen and ladies, today I have a fantastic video. We will talk about taxes, fees, fines, and state entities that accept cryptocurrency payments. We will talk about how banks can collaborate with Ripple to develop their own stable currency on the XRP ledger.
It's already taking place. I will demonstrate.
I have a brand new Monica Long clip. This is one you haven't yet seen, discussing the XRP ledger and its applications in particular. We will examine the expansion of Ripple throughout Africa. We will discuss this recent footage. It's a TQM. CEO, our most successful launch date was the XRP ETF. We're going to discuss it. The day before yesterday that was newly launched. The goal of President Trump is to do away with income taxes. In order to better prepare you in the event that something similar occurs, I was going to review the data and figures that you need to be aware of. So folks, let's get started on this. I will show you the document, but I will not read it in its entirety. You can halt it if you'd want, but in essence, state entities are trying to collect taxes, cryptocurrency, fees, and fines. I have no idea what the states will do with the funds. It would be fascinating to see if each state received a portion of each payment, such as 5% going into a pool where the states might purchase some reserve assets. I think that would be fascinating. That, in my opinion, would be a really original method for nations to begin assisting them with debt repayment and other things. Maybe, man, it will. I'm not sure. There must be some extremely intelligent people out there. I hope you're considering this. Alright, so Anders X released this. By considering a new position offering product marketing lead stablecoin, it appears that Ripple may introduce additional stablecoins in the future. As a result, Ripple is expanding their workforce and recruiting a person to promote the stable currency. Alright, so they will be contacting banks in their existing partnerships to see if they can arrange meetings to discuss the creation of their own stablecoin, which will be the bank's stablecoin on the XRP ledger. The cause is now, as I mentioned 6 months ago, correct? Since Ripple does just that, this is the future I envision. The DC's tokenization, stablecoins, and all of these other facets of custody are all visible if you've looked at what they have to offer with regard to cross-border payments, right? In all of these ways, Ripple enters the market, collaborates with the top businesses, acquires the top businesses, and buys the finest businesses. They can then phone all of their institutional clients and tell them, hey, it's time, right? Because they have the greatest technology in that industry. You desired a coin that was stable. The technology is here. We're prepared. Come on.
Yen.
That's what we're discussing here. Claims that a Brazilian bank and Ripple partnered to introduce the XRP ledger stablecoin. In the back of my mind, I firmly believe that 3, 4, or 5% of banks will wish to produce their own stable coinage when we first arrive here. However, stable coins will become a commonplace name in this context, such as when your grandmother uses one to purchase coffee or something else, right? Or well, I'm not sure how old you are, but you understand what I mean. Although it takes time for technology to be truly adopted, they are preparing everything. The benefit of making your own stable coin on the XRP ledger is that many banks are forced to use the outdated technology when transferring funds between their own banks. It is therefore expensive. It still requires time. However, if that bank, for example, if Bank of America in California were to transfer funds to another Bank of America or Bank of America affiliate, Merrill Lynch, or another entity, they could utilize their own stable currency and instantly transfer that amount for what? 90% to 95% less expensive than they typically would be. How come they wouldn't use it?
I don't understand why they wouldn't use it. You know?
Correct. If you are the bank's head, you have the authority to make decisions and set financial objectives, to satisfy your clients, make money, satisfy your consumers, and stay afloat. I'm not sure which comes first there. Avoid falling. The new technology should not be ignored. I believe it will be a moment that will be extremely transformative. For example, I believe it will put a great deal of pressure on other banks if Bank of America decides to use XRP and RLUSD.
I believe that a wave of banks will enter the market that may not be. Banks were unable to handle cryptocurrency for the past 4 years.
Although they can now, they are still rather worried that doing so could result in a lawsuit. It appears as though they are awaiting a few more green lights before departing. Our belief in a multi-chain, multi-token future has never wavered. Therefore, we believe that various tokens and chains for that matter are helpful for various use cases at different periods. First, let's look at XRP. The XRP ledger is the native asset of the public blockchain. Therefore, it has a use case for reserve accounts and gas fees by nature that will never go away. Additionally, the demand for that token is increasing as more developers and end users use the ledger. Furthermore, a particularly unique feature of XRP was that a decentralized exchange was integrated into the ledger at the time of its creation. Therefore, XRP is used to automatically bridge trades within that decentralized exchange that do not have instant liquidity between them. That's crazy, where it has been discussed as a true bridge asset. Even outside of the use cases for Ripple payments, we continue to employ XRP and stable currency in our payment system. Additionally, it somewhat relies on the most effective solution and the use case of the client. I'll say that this year we've seen a lot of increase in stable coins for our payments product. However, the use case for this DIX feature and utilizing XRP for liquidity will grow as more developers create products, either inside the XRP ledger ecosystem or other chains, increasing use case size. Thank you, Monica Long, who never fails to share some excellent knowledge.
Oh, I adore that video.
That seemed like a great deal of value to you. I hope you gained some knowledge. If you have seen this far, guys, kindly like and share the video. Additionally, if you haven't subscribed yet but keep returning, please do so. Thank you. Okay, therefore I wanted to know if Ripple is making any progress in Africa. Through a collaboration with Chipper Cash, a payments company that serves 9 African nations, Ripple is extending its ecosystem onto the continent. Through this partnership, cross-border payments utilizing XRP and Ripple's payments will be quicker and less expensive. Although the cooperation focuses on 9 countries specifically, Ripple has already collaborated with Onianofik to connect 27 African nations to the UK, the GCC and Australia with Crypto Rail. Is it 9 o'clock? Is it 9 plus 27? 27, including the 9. I'm not sure, but I can tell you how many countries make up Africa. Therefore, Africa consists of 54 countries. Okay, don't be mean to me. I'm attempting to provide the background. Okay, so here are some details about the main points. If you wish to pause it, I won't read it all to you. Instead, let's continue here. This is the video. This is TKM's CEO. In any case, he claims that the XRP ETF's launch was the most successful to date. For money, we've never done it before. Thus, it's their largest launch to date. Jump right in here. You recently introduced the first XRP ETF in the United States. Just wondering how the first day went. What have you observed so far? Even though I am aware that the market will close here shortly. An excellent answer. Because we were ignored, I believe there was a great deal of excitement. We filed after all, and it was mainly disregarded. The only ones that filed with a ticker were, and for some reason it was simply ignored, which caught everybody off guard. Following the departure of the previous SEC regime and the 75-day effective date on Saturday, we submitted as quickly as we could. Thus we began today after seeding yesterday, which was Monday. It's nearly a couple 100,000 shares, I believe. The launch has been fantastic and incredibly successful. It was the most successful launch day we have ever had for any fund. Whoa, it's the most successful fund launch they've ever carried out. Please start paying attention to 6, 12, and 24 months out. I understand